Before we jump in, let's be real. This podcast contains jokes, laughter, and a whole lot of real talk. Yes, we cover serious crimes. Yes, we add a little humor, but never, and I mean never, at the expense of the victims or their families. If you're sensitive, easily offended, or the type to clutch your pearls every time someone laughs during a true crime story, this may not be the podcast for you. But if you like your true crime with a little bit of spice, a lot of honesty, and just enough petty to keep it fun, welcome to Melanin Mysteries, baby. Let's get into it. Welcome back, cousins. Whether you've been riding with us since day one or you just pulled up for the first time, we appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of Melanin Mysteries. Because for real, y'all keep us going and we love you for it. So before we dive into today's case, we have to remind you crime, canvases, and cocktails is happening this Saturday in Atlanta. Like, we cannot wait to meet y'all face to face, sip on a little something, and do what we do best, talk true crime with our people. So if you haven't grabbed your tickets, what are you waiting on? Also, don't forget merch and ad space are always available at melaninmysteries.com. And you can also leave us a tip there just in case, you just want to support us. So if you want to rep the brand or get your own brand in front of our cousins, hit that site and let's make it happen. So we're going to sprinkle a little Lowry's on today's story. This one right here was brought to us by one of our loyal listeners, Tasha Campbell. So thank you, sis, for recommending this case. And today we're heading down to Arkansas to unpack the twisted, long, and ultimately tragic story of Edwina Martin and Danny Brown. Y'all, this case has betrayal, violence, survival, and a jaw-dropping ending that'll have you side-eyeing everybody involved. So grab your drink, get comfortable, and before we get into it, we have some comments the cousins left before they knew what the case was about. So we're going to talk about that immediately after. So I'm your host, Tiffany.
What's up? And I'm your co-host, Willie. We're about to have some fun. Let's get it. I ain't gonna lie, man. I like that new theme song, don't you?
I like it. I
All right,
do.
go ahead. My bad.
But some of the cousins, they was like, they missed the other one. But I mean,
And we
it's
might bring it.
all
We might do a throwback eight once in a while, man. But I like that one. And we paid for that one. All right, so y'all niggas better accept it and receive it.
we pay. I had to pay my teenager for the other one too.
Lord,
So okay. So anyway, okay. So you ever get that gut feeling that just something ain't right, but you talk yourself out of it anyway? That was me again. I told myself I was done with Danny, done with the arguing, the tears, the lies. I even swore on my mama's grave I wasn't ever looking back. But then that man called. And child, you know how that go. My heart, it ain't got no discipline. His voice still had that same pull, like he could smooth over years of hurt with one, I miss you. I tried to be strong, I really did. But sometimes loneliness is louder than logic. I should listen when God made everything in me uneasy. The air felt heavy when he came around, like Peace packed her bags and left the moment he walked through the door. I kept saying to myself, it's different now. He's changed. He grew up a little bit. But the truth, he hadn't changed. He just learned new ways to hide the same old demons. And me, I was too busy trying to rebuild something that was already ashes. They say when love turns toxic, it doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, like poison dripping in your coffee, one sip at a time. And by the time you realize it's killing you, it's already too late. I'd already lost someone close to me and I should have known better. But instead of running from the fire, I walked straight into it thinking maybe this time it wouldn't burn. But baby, it burned everything, my peace, my pride, and almost my life the very first time. You know how sometimes you go somewhere that's supposed to feel safe and for whatever reason it just don't? That's what it was like this night. So I'm gonna break it down to you what happened on this night. So, Edwina and Daniel had gone over her mama's place on Green Mountain Drive in Little Rock, Arkansas. Her mama, Miss Betty Jean Martin, was home, and her 10-year-old nephew was there too. So it was just a regular night, nothing special, no warning signs, no reason to think danger was even close. So they walked inside like they had 100 times before, probably spoke, maybe laughed, said hey to her mama. But what Edwina didn't know was death was already waiting in that apartment. And before she could even make sense of what's happening, her whole world would be covered in blood and gunfire.
Here we go. So look, soon as the door closed behind them, it started. Two masked men came out of nowhere, guns drawn, eyes cold like they had already made peace with what they was about to do. The first man raised a 40 caliber Taurus, and before anybody could blink, bam! One shot. Edwina hit the floor, chest burning, blood spreading fast. Daniel didn't think he moved. He went straight at the man, pure instincts, trying to protect the woman he loved and everybody in that house. But before he could even land a hit, the second gunman stepped up and fired a second shot straight to Daniel's head. Just like that, gone. Miss Betty Jean screamed, the kind of screaming that ain't just sound, but it's heartbreak. She's begging these men, stop, 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 stop. Just leave my family alone. See, in the chaos, that 10-year-old boy, her grandson, ran to the back, slid under her bed, and hid, shaking and praying that the next bullet wouldn't find him too. Edwina somehow was still conscious. She dragged herself across the floor, reaching for her mama. Betty Jean dropped to the ground, pulled her baby close, you know what I'm saying? Pulled her right real close up to her in her lap and cradled her head between her legs like she couldn't hold her together through sheer love. Or better yet, that she could hold her together through sheer love. The first gunman, maybe he still had, a bit of humanity left. He yelled, do not shoot her. Don't. But the second one, this dude was cold. He stepped closer, raised the gun again, and told her mama to move. Betty Jean said no. And then, right then, that man let off another round. The bullet tore through Edwina's hip. The sound of the shot rang through the whole complex. Boom! Then silence. Just the echo of terror and mother cries filled the room. The two gunmen ran out the door and vanished into the night, leaving behind blood and screams in a scene no family should ever have to live through. And in that moment, a mother was holding her dying daughter. A child was hiding under the bed, and the man who tried to protect them was already gone. Now, look, before we go any further, we got to stop right here because Daniel Hill deserves to be remembered for more than how he died. See, Daniel was just 22 years old, born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. He wasn't some stranger off the streets. He was a son, a brother, a man just starting to figure out his life. His parents, Anthony and Shirley Hill Sr., raised him alongside his brothers and sisters. Anthony Jr., Carnell D. Anthony, Gavin Dorsey, Terry, Tony, and Nicole. A big ass family, the kind that fills up a church pew from one end to the other on Sunday morning. See, folks who knew Daniel said he was quiet, respectful, the type who didn't know, didn't bother nobody. You know what I'm saying? The kind of man who'd rather make peace than to start problems. And then be always the ones that get killed. You notice that? It's always the good niggas, but the assholes that run out here and just be out there causing chaos like Frump, nothing happened to them. But I digress.
Unfortunately, doing everything but passing away.
Exactly, right? See, he and Edwina hadn't been together that long, just a few months. But from the outside looking in, it was easy to see she felt safe with him. He was the calm after years of storm, the good man she'd been hoping to find. And that's what made this so damn tragic. Rest in peace, big homie. Because look, Daniel didn't die in the streets. No, he didn't die doing nothing wrong. He died trying to protect the woman he cared for and her family, standing up when fear told him to sit your ass down. Because I ain't gonna lie. If we only been together for 2 months and the nigga come in with guns and everything like that, I'm running with the little kid. Me and
Oh
that
well,
little nigga gonna
I
be
ain't gonna shoot.
me and that
Honestly, you already know me. You pull out a gun, I'm
yeah,
gone. You
me
can't
and
be
that little
gone.
nigga be under the bed together talk about be quiet. Don't say nothing. Yes. They're throwing it out there, man. But look, hey, I ain't knocking him, man. He loved his woman. So look, when those bullets started flying, he didn't run. He stood his ground, tried to fight back, and lost his life doing it. See, his funeral was held at Greater Emmanuel Church in Little Rock. Family packed the pews, tears fell heavy, and another black man name got added to the list that already is too damn long. Daniel Hill will never get to see 23. But he left his world doing what real men should do, protecting somebody he loved. Rest in power, Daniel. Real quick, real sure. Your story didn't end that night because the truth about what happened to you is what finally started the fire that exposed everybody else. That was deep, man.
Rest in peace to Daniel Hill. So we're gonna now talk about Edwina Angelica Martin because baby, this woman lived a whole life before that tragedy on Green Mountain Drive. So Edwina was born May 16th, 1986 in Little Rock, Arkansas. 86 was a good year. To her parents, Edwin Eugene Martin Sr. and Betty Jean Martin. She was the youngest of four on her mama's side, and she was one of nine on her daddy's side. And we're not gonna turn this into the Guinness Book of Siblings, okay? So just know it was just a lot of them, and the family reunion would have looked like a church revival. So she graduated from McClellan High School in 2004. See, me and her had so much in common. Where she was out there doing her thing. She was part of the Future Business Leaders of America. She was part of DECA. So sis had a little hustle even in her, even back then. And then after that, she went to the University of Arkansas, Pulaski Tech. She got her associates, and then she started working as a phlebotomy tech. So yeah, Edwina had her stuff together. She was focused, she was driven, and she was by her paper. So later on, she stepped into her boss era and she started her own clothing line called Bodacious Beauty Boutique. Because one thing about Edwina, she was going to make sure she looked good and made her money while doing it. Now, at some point, she met Danny Brown. They ended up having two kids together, Danny Maurice Brown III and Danielle Michelle Brown. So not only was she a businesswoman and a professional, but she was also a mother. But let me be clear about something. We do not do victim shaming over here, okay? Not now and not ever. However, this story does involve a little thing we call accountability because, baby, there are some documented accusations floating around in this case that's going to make you tilt your head a little bit. And I'm just saying, if you want people to say nice things about you when you're gone, I'm going to need you to be a good person while you're here.
Amen to
Okay?
that. Man.
That part. Because listen, I'm not saying everything in this story was her fault. Ooh, let me start that over. One, two, three. Because listen, I'm not saying everything in this story was her fault. Far from it. But some of these decisions, child of math was not mathing. And the best part, we're not guessing. We have receipts. So let's just say the deeper we go into this story, the harder it gets to paint everybody as purely innocent, if you get my drift. So the truth got layers, and in this case, it's looking like real bodacious and bold. Now, see, a lot of folks jump straight into the shooting and skip over the why. But baby, the why matters because in 2012, Edwina and Danny were no longer that picture perfect couple with the two babies and the matching last names in the group chat. The love was gone, the reality had moved in, the bills, the babies, and a man with a hand problem. And I don't mean he had arthritis. From
Mm.
what I gathered, Danny's temper wasn't just emotional, it was physical. And Edwina, she had enough. Like she was tired of fighting. She was trying to fix somebody who didn't want to be fixed. So she packed up her piece and she left. But you know what they say? Leaving is half the battle. Because when love gets messy, custody gets even messier. Now, this is the part that had me clutching my pearls and flipping through court records like, hold on, wait, what? So Danny Brown, not Edwina, was the one with custody of their kids. Which I'm gonna just say that's really rare because 9 times out of 10, the mama automatically gets custody, especially when the baby daddy got a record and a temper. But somehow, some way, Danny had them kids living with him. And from everything I've read and heard, the back and forth over those kids was turned into a full blown war. Every call turned into an argument. Every pickup or drop off became a side eye and shade. And that day, the day it all went down, was supposed to be real simple. Danny was supposed to meet Edwina so she could braid their daughter's hair. That's it. No drama, no yelling, no lawyers, just a mama trying to spend some time with her child. But instead of Danny showing up like he was supposed to, it was two gunmen instead. And when I tell you that changes everything, I mean everything, because that turned this from a family disagreement into an execution. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if my ex is saying he's bringing the kids and then two masked men pop up instead, we're not talking about coincidence. We're talking about calculated. And the receipts back that up.
Mm. So look, before all this mess, before the ambush, before the heartbreak, there was Danny Maurice Brown II, born June 2nd, 1985, in Little Rock, Arkansas. Nobody really knows who raised him or what kind of home he came from, but one thing's clear. Danny jumped off that porch early. By the time most kids were worried about driver's ed or Friday night games, Danny was already out here in grown folk man trouble. At 17 years old, he caught a manslaughter case. And not the kind you walk off easy, right? It was summer of 2002, August 2nd to be exact. There was a robbery at Sigma Imports, a little store that was closing for the day. Danny wasn't the trigger man that night, but he was there. He was the lookout, standing in the shadows while the boys went inside. One of them had a mask, the other didn't. They went in waving guns, demanding cash, ordering everybody to get down. The employee did what they were told, hit the floor and prayed to make it out alive. But when the owner saw what was happening, this dude wasn't having it. This man pulled out his gun, aimed it at the masked robber, and told him to drop it. What he didn't see was the second guy stepping out from the side. Shots went off quick, loud, final. The owner's bullets hit the masked man, a 17-year-old boy named Charles Edward Patillo. It went straight through his back. Patillo made it out the front door but collapsed right there on the sidewalk. He died where he fell. 6 weeks past his 17th birthday, man. Danny didn't get far. Police caught him, right? Police caught him riding in the car, leaving the area. And from there, everything unraveled. He got arrested as an adult. And when they sat him down in that interrogation room, let's just say that boy started talking, boy. That boy was snitching. He
It's a
told
whole lot of
detective,
snitches in this case too.
you said what?
It's a whole lot of
Oh
snitches in this
yeah, man,
case
it's
too.
a handful of. See, he told the detectives that he went ahead and went into business first to scope it out, see how many people were inside, where the money was, the layout. Then he went back and relayed that information to Patello and Dante Lamar West. Danny said a friend had convinced him that Sigma would be an easy target, maybe 2 grand in cash tops. But they thought, it would be Fed's money. But unfortunately, it turned to a murder scene, right? Horrible situation. Investigators confirmed it when a store employee recognized Dante West, the unmasked robber, as a former McLennan High School classmate. That ID sealed it. Dante took a plea, aggravated robbery, 20-year sentence, manslaughter charge dropped. Then he got his own deal, 5 years on a manslaughter charge, 5 years to sit, to think, and to learn how to keep his head down and his mouth closed, or at least that's what you would expect. But when he came home, he wasn't changed, just smarter about the kind of trouble he chose. Because a man who can talk his way out once, he usually think he can do that shit again. So look, let's go back to the scene of the crime. Once the gunfire stopped at Green Mountain Drive, detectives started pulling every thread they could find. It didn't take long before they realized this wasn't random. This was personal, a job planned, paid for, and executed. There were two shooters that night, Brian Ivan Gordon and Christopher Riggins. Ivan was the talker, Christopher was the trigger. Ivan gave them the story. Christopher made sure there was one to tell. According to Ivan, this wasn't even the first time they tried. The January 3rd ambush was the second attempt on Edwina's life, right? The second. The first plan fizzled out a week before. See, Ivan told detectives he'd been promised $10,000 to kill her and anyone around her. When they failed, Danny allegedly upped the deal to an extra $500 in a busted ass 2002 Chevy Suburban. See, Ivan said Danny gave him $250 upfront and the rest to come after. When investigators searched that Suburban, they found Danny Brown's paycheck stub sitting inside like a calling card. I don't know about you, but if I'm trying to commit a crime, I ain't about to be leaving my damn W-2s in a getaway car. That's how to get caught 101 right there. So look, the murder weapon, a 40 caliber Taurus semi-automatic, didn't surface until 3 months later. It turned up with another convicted felon who said he bought it for $100, split it with his cousin, and didn't even know the seller's name. He admitted he knew Ivan, but swore he didn't know a thing about any murder. Police let him walk. Detectives found Ivan and Christopher thanks to an anonymous tip. Somebody out there clearly decided to reward money looked better than loyalty. Once Ivan was in custody, he didn't hesitate. He gave up everything, who paid, how much, and what went wrong. Let me tell you something right now. If they offer me this much money to turn in somebody who killed somebody like senseless like that, nigga, that's easy payday. Easy. I only get easy. Please don't get in trouble
Snitches are
around me.
all time high these days.
Man, shit. Who you telling? Chris? Yeah, exactly. Christopher Riggins kept quiet at first, but when the evidence started stacking, phone records, the Suburban, the gun, he started agreeing with everything Ivan said. That's not teamwork, but definitely consistency. Surveillance from Walmart tied pieces of the timeline together. When police brought in Edwina and her 10-year-old nephew for a photo lineup, they both picked Ivan Gordon out without hesitation. Notice I mentioned her name. Why? Because she actually lived. So between the confessions, the IDs, and the evidence, The case was airtight, at least against the shooters. Ivan Gordon and Christopher Riggins both got life plus 15. Danny Brown, he told detectives he'd been home with his kids eating pizza, which, to be fair, is the most boring alibi imaginable. But guess what? That shit worked. Because when the case hit court, she refused to cooperate. And when we say she, we talk about Edwina. She refused. Without her testimony, the foundation cracked. The charges were dropped. And guess what? Your boy Danny walked. And then 2 weeks
Look
after the
here.
shooting, huh?
Look here. Let me cut you off because look here.
Yeah, please. Nigga,
Never,
you
never mind. Just keep going. Never mind. I'm gonna let you. Just never
all
mind.
right, all right, let me
I'm
cook. Okay.
aggravated
I know. I get hey, look, I'm with
because
you,
it gets
man.
worse.
I
Because it
know
gets
it's stupidity at its finest. See, unfortunately, y'all, this is going to be one of them times where I'm sorry, but I will be talking about the victim. All right, because stupidity was all through this. So I'm giving you a warning right now. So anyway, all right. So look, at the end, right after the shooting and everything, right? At 2 weeks after the shooting, 2 weeks, Tiffany, after the shooting,
he
after her
still got on
boyfriend.
bandages.
Yes, after her boyfriend murder, right? After a dude shot her in the head in front of her mama was holding that head like, baby, please don't go. Please
She
do
got shot
not
in
go.
the chest. Not she didn't get shot in the head. The chest.
Well, whatever, nigga. It was one of them. All right, it's in the chest. Mama holding on to her, saying, baby, don't go. So, baby, we not about to sing Stairway to Heaven right now. After all of that, she married him. Edwina married Danny. Can you believe
The
that?
man that tried to kill her and
Yes.
killed her boyfriend.
Yes. A good man. A nigga
A
that
good man,
a,
Savannah.
a good man, a man that
Man,
was only
Savannah.
with you for a month
A
and
good
stood there
man.
and took a bullet for you. Me, Willie Webb? Oh no, nigga, I was under the bed before the kid was. Just throwing it out there. So look, 4 days after the attack, her mother, Betty Jean Martin, died inside the same apartment. Officially natural causes, but anyone who buried a loved one knows grief can do what bullets can't. So you done lost your mama, you done lost your man, and oh man, that's crazy. I tell you, man, stupidity at an all-time high. Know what I'm saying? At an all-time damn high. Know what I'm saying? So by the end of the month, Daniel Hill was dead. Betty Jean was gone. Ivan and Christopher were in prison. And Danny Brown was out here free, married, and pretending none of it ever happened. The shooters taught, the evidence screamed, the system blinked, and somehow the man at the center of all of it walked away eating pizza. You would, first of all, he a bum ass nigga, and no offense, she ain't. Look, man, look. All I'm saying is,
I'll handle it from here
all right,
because
thank you, I appreciate it, appreciate it. Go
I know
ahead,
y'all just
cook.
sitting there like me, looking at your phone, your steering wheel, your TV, and whispering, "What in the entire fuck is this?" Right, right. Okay, we on the same page. Just had to get that out. So after all that, the shooting, the blood, her mama dying 4 days later, 2 damn weeks after Daniel Hill's funeral, you turn around and marry that man, the same man the shooter's name, the same man whose pay stubs were sitting in the getaway suburban, the same man who allegedly paid for the hit that killed your boyfriend, and sis still said, "Till death do us part." Girl, death
Bitch.
already tried.
Mm.
And now I'm not saying it's to clown her because this really is tragic from every angle. But Lord, this is the kind of decision that make your ancestors press pause and cause a meeting. Because for real, she was deep in it. I mean, I guess she's probably physically hurt. She's emotionally wrecked and mentally exhausted. She just lost her mama. She
But
lost
wait,
her
hold on,
man.
wait. Let's stop. I don't mean to cut you off, but no offense, but excuse me, I don't mean to say this, and I hate to use the word bitch, but unfortunately, under these circumstances, it fits. Bitch, all of this was caused because of that nigga.
That
The
part.
hurt, the pain, the loss, the life was caused because of that nigga. Let's just throw it out there. But go ahead, my bad.
Right. So Danny, all he saw was an opening wide enough to drive that suburban through. And he pulled out the, you need me, we a family playbook, acting like he was the only one who could keep her safe. That is not love. That is psychological warfare with a wedding ring. Okay. See, trauma bonding is so real. So when your life has been chaos for long enough, you start mistaking control for comfort. And Danny was a chaos that she already knew. So while the rest of us would have been somewhere on somebody's prayer line, Edwina was down at the courthouse getting papers signed. I mean, maybe she thought it quieted the whispers. Maybe she thought she was taking her power back, or maybe she was just tired of fighting. But what she really did was marry her monster. Because once you say I do to a man who's already tried to take you out, you're not signing a marriage certificate. You are signing a death waiver. Danny Brown didn't have to chase her anymore. He owned her now. And if you think this story couldn't get any wilder after that, trust me, you ain't heard nothing yet.
You married? Oh my God! So look at the all the chaos, the funerals, the shooting, the headline. Danny Brown somehow walked free, and instead of just laying low, know what I'm saying, like old dude who just got caught, know what I'm saying, in New Orleans, know what I'm saying,
In
instead of just
Atlanta.
yeah, just laying low, reflecting, or maybe even finding Jesus. Know what I'm saying? Because you should have found Jesus in this moment. This man gets married to Edwina. But look, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up, right? This is one of the craziest ones we did. Look, 2 weeks after she gets shots, after losing her mama, her boyfriend, she walking down the aisle like it's a Hallmark movie. I said, now hold up. This can't be the same man that the shooter's name. But sure enough, there he is, smiling in the wedding pictures like he ain't been accused of orchestrating a hit. Look, I know trauma bonds are real, but this one needed a refund and a receipt because look, I totally understand trauma bonding, but this right here, this nigga caused the trauma. Usually people trauma bond from two different situations or whatever, but this nigga caused all of the trauma, right? That shit is crazy, right? So from the outside, it looked like a comeback story. A woman rebuilding her life, forgiving, moving forward. But behind closed doors, it was a rerun. Same argument, same control, just new titles. Husband and wife. Danny didn't suddenly become Prince. No, no.
You get married, that does not fix your problems. I feel like it magnifies your problems.
Yeah, man, this shit crazy. You right. It do sound. It really does sound like a comeback story. Like you know how they be having those stage plays, Like, mama,
Hmm.
my husband shot me. You know what I'm saying? They had dude from Jason Lyric playing the husband.
He
I'm
be in
sorry.
every black play. I'm just
He
saying.
do. What's his name?
I don't even know that man's name. I
Pain
just know
something
my face.
pain. You know what I'm saying? Oh shoot. Oh man. Let me tell you. Yeah. Mama, my husband shot me. Starring. All right, my bad. Let me quit. Okay, look. So of course they got married, right? This nigga didn't suddenly just yeah, the tiger ain't gonna change his stripes. You know what I'm saying? He didn't suddenly turn into a Prince Charming. He was still the same manipulative, slick tongue dude who could talk himself out of any situation. He knew how to flip a story faster than a short order cook. And that Rena, she wasn't weak. She was just worn down, tired. She said, "I'm tired, boss." Probably still telling herself he changed. Bitch, she dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I mean, nobody deserved to lose a life, but I don't feel bad, nigga. You fucking wrote your own obituary right here. Like you did. You really wrote your own obituary and everything like that. Truth is, I'm tired. No, bitch, you stupid. Anyway, but see, like I told you, boy like Danny don't change. That nigga just changed locations. And by the time 2021 rolled around, he proved that point loud and clear. Because look, while most folk were out here trying to recover from a pandemic or steal PPP loans, Danny Brown was catching himself in a domestic violence charge. Yes, DV. Yep, after all these years, after everything he already been through, well, they been through, he was still out here putting hands on folks. So not only did he try to get her killed, but now he's smacking her ass around. I said, boy, you done cheated death, beat the system, and you still can't keep your hand to yourself. That is not survival. That's stupidity with a pulse. See, that marriage wasn't built on love. It was built on fear, lies, and a man who thought he'd never be held accountable. And it showed because the same pattern that started with a trigger ended with a fist. But now folks in Little Rock, they were getting tired of hearing this name. I know I would, man. Nigga, imagine you at the Waffle House just chilling. You see these little, you know what I'm saying, dumb and dumber walking in. Like, man, oh man, she still with that nigga?
Cause that's the one you be side eyeing. Cause remember, my one friend, the one who was that man was beating the hell out of her, and then she got mad at me because I was
Mm.
like, "Don't you think like this is a problem, and she just told me
Yes.
to stop talking. Yeah, she got real mad at me.
I remember that, yes, because I was
Yeah.
like, she d like, I just I don't get it.
Because
I
remember he shot her nephew,
yes,
and she
I
still stayed.
honestly don't understand, like, look, I get it, sometimes love I've been in love before, you know the thing with me and my ex, man, I was obsessed in love, but I'm never going to be with someone who's knowingly hurting me. Like, I
Mm-mm.
can it's if you knowingly hurting me, nigga, I'm gone. I don't care how much it hurts to leave, it's gonna hurt even more to stay.
Mhm.
Like, that is crazy to me, man, and, like, these women and sometimes men be guilty of it too. Y'all niggas stay in situations way, way, way too long when the writing is on the wall. Nigga, God done told you and showed you every which way, and you still talk about, "I'm about to stay," you know what I'm saying? And then you end up in situations like this, you know what I'm saying? That's why yeah, like, gee, either get help or learn how to fucking fight. That's what I'm telling you, women and some men. So look, they're tired of hearing that nigga names. And you thought that karma wasn't paying attention. You would think, with everything going on, right? Oh, no, no, no. She was just running a little bit late. Ooh, so what about to happen, girl? This getting juicy.
So now, y'all, this part right here, it's almost so stupid it don't even sound real. So let me set the scene. It's March 27, 2023. And when she's at home, she's minding her business. She's probably tired from work, just trying to keep her peace. Which, if you've been following this story, you know peace was something she hadn't had in years. So who pops up at the house? His name was Demetrius Riddle. Now, Demetrius is Danny's best friend. He told the police that he came by to, quote, borrow $20 and have a couple drinks before his date. Now, first of all, sir, you are 32 years old. You should not be borrowing $20 to impress nobody, because if you don't have $20, why are you taking somebody out? You need to be taking yourself to Indeed.com. But anyway, Mr. Budget Date, he shows up with his pistol on him, as one does when you're broken bored. And he says he set his gun down on the couch while he and Danny were talking. Now, according to Demetrius, Edwina and Danny start arguing. It's real loud, it's heated. And he's like, you know what? Instead of him saying like, "Hey man, like maybe you should chill out," or like try and calm him down, he says he slipped outside, and that's his wording, y'all. He slipped outside like this is an awkward party, like not a
Now,
domestic
now hold
boyfriend.
on now. Now look, you ain't never been in a situation where niggas like you with somebody and they get to arguing and shit like that. Like that's how I used to be with my brother. I didn't get in the middle of that shit. I used to always I ain't knocking them for that. I'd be like, man, yeah, because when you get two toxic individuals, you'll get in the middle of it, they'll jump your ass.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah,
That
so
is
I ain't knocking
true.
them for that. I would have slid right outside. Know what I'm saying? My damn self. But I probably would have slid in my car with that $20 and that free drink and went ahead and nigga, what you doing with $20 on the date? What
And that's why I said his broke ass didn't need to be dating nobody. Because hey, you gotta come
$20
and
on the date,
borrow.
like damn,
You gotta come
like
and borrow $20. You don't need to be going no goddamn where.
yeah, nigga, that's a pack of honey and some Moscato. That's about it.
Here you go. So Demetrius says outside to get some air, right? Then boom, all he hears is gunshots. So he runs back in, and then he sees Danny standing there with the gun. So this is where it gets like even messier. So instead of immediately calling police, Demetrius said he waited. He let Danny leave. Yes, I said that
That
right.
nigga, look, Danny had the gun, nigga. He had the gun, nigga. You need to run. All right, let's be honest. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't about to. He just shot his wife, nigga. What you think he gonna do to me? I know that nigga's like, God damn it, she didn't even that $20. Shit.
Now, I ain't trying to be funny, but you already know niggas care more about they niggas than they do their bitches. So he was probably safe. So his best friend just murdered his wife in cold blood, and he's getting a nigga a head start. He said he didn't want to see his friend go down like that.
Ah, damn.
Sorry, he shot his wife. He's already
Oh,
down bad.
we did another case. That's you good. Your ass, yeah, you like fucking Rain Man. You remember everything. What's the case that we did with it? Yes, the dude. I think he killed his whole family or something, right? And
Vincent
then
Brothers,
his friend was like, he didn't want he don't think he did that, and you don't remember that?
not top of my head. So anyway, Um, Eventually Demetrius go ahead and he calls 911 after the coast was clear because of course he got priorities. So when the police get there, Edwina's shot, but she's barely hanging on, but unfortunately, she ends up not making it later. And Danny was gone, and that same best friend who couldn't afford his date money ended up telling on him anyway. So not
Mm,
only did he snitch, he gave the man a head start before he snitched. I mean, I ain't never really seen loyalty and betrayal happen at the same time before, but I guess it's the first for everything. I don't know. So Danny's on the run, not for long, because what his ego didn't account for is when you've been dodging justice for this long, Carmen starts using Google Maps, and she found him real quick.
mm. Ooh, new stage play. Mama, this nigga done shot me again. Starting. I'm sorry. Oh shoot, my bad. Starring Kelly Price.
Don't do that.
Edwina was rushed to the hospital after the shooting, but by 4 p.m. that afternoon, doctors pronounced her gone. Rest in heaven. 37 years old, shot in her own home, and the man responsible, her husband, Danny Brown. Right. The same man who had already dodged one murder case and a domestic violence rap somehow thought that he would outsmart the law again. Instead, he went on a run. So, real quick, all you got a little side notes. Um, I look, I never forget, man, right? I never forget when I found out my ex would cheat on me. I woke up, saw her on her phone, a nigga was texting her, but she disguised it as if it was a girl. So she it was a girl name, but obviously it was a nigga because he told me, I can't wait to feel you inside me. I can't wait to be feel you inside. Whatever nigga be telling girls or whatever the case may be, right? I was hurt, right? I was devastated. Like, this is my wife, this is my heart, my soul. But nothing in me made me think that I should kill this bitch. Right? Nothing. I say that to say I don't understand what goes through niggas' minds, even in situations like that. What argument is that bad that will cause you to take her life, to
I don't.
end your life by taking her life?
I don't know. 'Cause I mean, I say I done been mad. I done went on rampages. I done broke shit. But I've never thought let me get a knife or I want to kill this nigga. Those thoughts have never crossed my
Never.
mind
I mean, and
ever.
again, I was hurt, nigga. I was devastated, but it was nothing in me to be like, I'm about to kill the bitch. Like, nothing in me. Like, nigga,
I got cheated on right before we were supposed to get married.
ah, man.
And I even then, I was just like, the thought never, the only thing I was like, all I thought was like, that nigga gotta get the hell up out of here
Yes,
today.
like
But that was it. The thought of
that
killing
was
him never
it.
crossed my
Like,
mind.
even when a girl put the gun out on me, I was like, wait. All right, yeah, I know I cheated, but damn. Is my life worth your life, girl? If my life worth you throwing your life away for me, me, girl, you know I'm a cheater.
But the sad part was she did know you were a cheater.
Like, seriously, goddamn. Okay, let's get back right. All right, look. So for 6 weeks, police, U.S. Marshals, and half of Arkansas were looking for him. He made it all the way to Dallas, Texas, hid out in some apartment complex like he was on an extended Airbnb stay for felons. But see, the thing about running is you still got to stop somewhere. When the marshals rolled up to the complex, they cornered him on a balcony. And what does Danny do? He looks down, see the ground 2 story below, and apparently thought he was in Mission Impossible, the movie. The man
Mm,
actually tried to jump off the balcony. So obviously the nigga don't make good decisions.
clearly, the nigga about jumping
His
about the goddamn bricks.
if I know I'm about to get, I'm not jumping 2 feet because I already know. You know what I'm saying? There should be something like, okay, logic. If I do this, I know I'm gonna probably end up breaking my ankle. I can't run. I'm gonna go ahead and turn myself in. Obviously, the nigga got bad decision making. He's bad with making
Clearly.
decisions. Right. So look, but when he spotted a squad of marshals waiting down there, guns on, vests on, looking like they just clocked in for overtime, even he realized gravity wasn't gonna save him. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that nigga
He
was
does not make very good decisions,
now he
clearly.
doesn't make good
Do
decisions
you see
at
the
all.
pattern? His pattern of decision making is very trash.
Oh, horrible, right? I wonder did they get that nigga that $20? Like, baby, oh man, you are late for the damn. You are late for our date. What happened? You ain't gonna believe this shit right here. You ain't gonna believe this. All right, I'm sorry. Right, let me quit. They extradited his ass back to Arkansas, charged him with capital murder and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and they charged him with making dumbass decisions. Right. The judge took one look at his record and said, "Absolutely not. Bond denied."
As
Amen.
it should be.
Amen. Amen. On top of that, the court put in a no contact order for his kids at their request.
Even your
And,
kids, that's messed up. Like your kids don't even want to fuck with you. That's bad. Your kids
I
telling
mean,
you
you
don't
killed my
tell.
mama. Yeah,
I know, but they even said don't tell that nigga do not call
do
here.
not call me. Yeah, tell this nigga do not hear. You have a collect call from pick up. Nah, no, we not doing that. Yeah. So look, and that right there says it all. Even his own children didn't want to hear from his ass, right? They're like, look, I don't want to hear your name, let alone I don't want to see your face. So his trial was set for January 2024. But honestly, the outcome's the least surprising part of the story. See, after two murder investigations, a DV charge, and a lifetime of excuses, Danny Brown finally ran out of luck and balconies. I wish his dumb ass would have jumped. Know what I'm
I did
saying?
too. Jumped in and died and broke his neck. Oh wait, that's
Yeah, I would
bad.
have left too. Like, go ahead. I would have left, and I would have left his head right on the ground and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, yeah, dumbass. So look, man thought he was gonna fly his way out of accountability. Turns out he couldn't even stick the landing. By the time his trial hit the calendar, the world had already moved on, but not the truth. After years of ducking charges and acting like he was smarter than the law, Danny Brown finally ran out of excuses and airspace. The trial, baby, it wasn't even a long one, 2 days. That's all it took to bury what was left of his freedom. First off, up his daughter, Danielle. And listen, when that young woman walked into the courtroom, you could feel the temperature drop about 10 degrees. She sat down, looked that man dead in his face, and started telling the truth that he'd been running from for years. Danielle said, "You ain't even my father, nigga." No, I'm joking. She didn't say that. Danielle said that on the very day her mama was killed, she and Edwina, had been out looking for a new place to live because Danny couldn't keep his hands to himself and Edwina was done. She said she'd been scared of her father her whole life and that the man had been blowing up her mama phone with threatening messages. One of them even had a picture of Edwina's dead mama. Like
Wait,
you
you threatening me with pictures of my dead mama?
yeah, man,
Nigga.
you damn not mama. Man, come on, why y'all do big mama like that? Mama, mama. Oh, anyway, yeah, that's horrible, man. Like he deserved the worst. Like nigga, like I always say, dudes like that deserve the worst of the worst when they go to jail. Remember, I said do not under no circumstance put them in protective custody. Let them out there in general population and let his booty cat manhole get tampered with every day. Like real talk. That's what needs to happen for people like that because you are like demonic. That's demonic. You know what I'm saying? That's not love. That is demonic. Then the prosecutor hit play on a jail phone call and the courtroom went silent. It was Danny. On that recording, he was telling his daughter to lie, to say the abuse wasn't that bad, to cover for him one more time. You telling your daughter to do this, bruh. Come on.
After you murdered her mama.
Come on, bruh. Oh my goodness, man. I hope Nasty Nate take him on the date and it end up in rape. I know you don't like that, but in this circumstances, it is what it is. Sir, if you got to script your own alibi from a county jail, the math is not mathing. You can hear Danielle holding back tears on the call. Imagine that as a child. As a child, hearing your father, know what I'm saying, the man that killed your mother tell you to lie for him. And that's when the jury's faces changed. They weren't looking at a man who made a mistake. They were looking at a manipulator who'd been playing everyone around him for decades. Then his so-called best friend, Demetrius Riddle, waddled up to the stand. The same man who borrowed $20, yeah, let him get a head start after the murder, and then told everything anyway. Demetrius sat down, swore in, and confirmed everything. He said he heard the shots. He came back inside. He saw Danny with the gun still in his hand and said, "Hey, look, I know this shit is bad, but you still gonna give me that $20, right?" I'm just trying to make sure, dog, because old girl waiting for me. At this point, the jury didn't even need lunch. 5 women, 7 men. They went back, talked for about 3 hours, and came back with a verdict and said it all. Guilty of first-degree murder. Sentence? Life. They dropped the capital part, but they still gave him the max because honestly, what's left to discuss? The man spent decades turning women into statistics, pain into patterns, and every courtroom into his personal pity party. Not this time. And look, when the judge said life, it was like the universe finally exhaled. Like, yes, nigga. Danny Brown tried to talk his way out of every other mess he made. By this time, even his mouth couldn't save him. But his mouth gonna be used for a
It
lot
might save
more.
him. It might save him in a
It might save him
behind
in
the
the
wall.
penitentiary.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. He thought he was slick, thought he was smarter than the streets, the law, and God himself. But in the end, he got exactly what he gave: pain and permanent pain. And for once, justice showed up on time. I wish it would show up a little bit sooner, like real talk, but go ahead.
Yeah, years before. So get this. The jury didn't even hear about the 2012 shooting, the very first time that Danny tried to kill this woman, because if they had, baby, that capital murder charge would have been stuck like Gorilla Glue. Hell, the state of Arkansas still got the death penalty. And for once, I wouldn't even argue with it.
Mm. These days, Danny Brown is running. Yes, he is. They say he ain't running from nobody, but they say that nigga is running. Yes, he's running every chance he get. Know what I'm saying? Because they trying to get the not the one that's winking, but the one that's thinking. Sorry, that was wrong. He's sitting exactly where he should have been a long time ago, behind the walls of the Cummings unit down in Grady, Arkansas. You would think don't even correct me, but anyway, he's in there on first degree murder conviction, tagged as a habitual offender and a felon in the possession of a firearm and fresh fish. Life sentence, no parole, no more piece of alabaster, no more balconies to jump, no more manipulation, just penetration. Just steel doors, bed, coffee, and a whole lot of time to think about every life he ruined trying to play God. And you know what? For a man who spent decades dodging accountability, it's almost poetic that he ended up in a place called Cummins. Because there's gonna be a lot of nigga that's gonna be coming in him. Oh, my bad. The same mouth that he used to talk circles around cop judges and women. Now it's just another voice echoing off concrete and screaming, please stop. They said he don't talk much now. He just scream, which for Danny Brown might be the first smart decision he has ever made.
Lordy, lordy, lordy. So, before we close this thing out, we got to be real because y'all know over here at Melanin Mysteries, we tell our stories our way. There's no whitewashing, there's no fairy tales, and there is no skipping the uncomfortable parts. So, before Edwina's death, she had her own set of legal issues. February 1st, 2022, she was arrested and charged with distributing, possessing, and viewing material depicting child sexual content and coercion.
So with that being said, hold on. With that being said, so you see why I would talk about her. Like, no offense. Like, come on. Like, know what I'm
Well, we
saying?
have okay. We do have to
Allegedly.
look this. Yes, she did
Allegedly.
plead not guilty. She was released on a $10,000 bond. She had a public defender, but by September 1st of 2022, the state did drop the charges, only for the feds to pick that case right back up on October 31st of
Oh,
2022.
nigga, she guilty. It's a Fed got it, she guilty. It's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
Fed got it. Yeah, no
they
offense.
still
It's
have
a
a 97% conviction rate, but
yes.
again, we
Allegedly.
don't. Yeah, unfortunately, before we could ever find out what really happened, she was gone and killed before the case ever went to trial. So unfortunately, that case died with her. Now, I don't know what the story was behind all that, and I'm not here to speculate, but I will say this: that kind of charge is a very heavy one. And baby, it's always innocent until proven guilty. But for real, be honest, that is really a side eye type situation. Because when you pull back all these layers, the love, the violence, the trauma, and the secrets, what you really see is a whole cycle of broken people who never heal and they just hurt each other harder. And here's a part where accountability has to step in. And I know y'all probably hate me talking about that, but for real, we have to
Nah,
take
real talk.
accountability for the part that we play in situations. Because yes, Danny was a monster. There's no doubt about that. But if Edwina had just stayed away the first time, if she had trusted her gut instead of her heart, maybe she would still be here. And that's not victim shaming, that's reality. Because sometimes the same love that gives you butterflies is the same love that buries you.
Mm.
And when God gives you a warning and you see the red flags, boo thing, please don't ignore them thinking it's a carnival. Because this case from the 2012 shooting all the way to 2023 is a tragic reminder that ignoring patterns doesn't make them disappear. It just makes the endings worse. And remember that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So just throwing that
Yeah.
out there as well.
Yeah.
So we do say rest in peace to Edwina Angelica Martin. May her soul finally find the peace that she could not get in life. And as for Danny Brown, may he live a long, violent life right where he is because he definitely deserves to feel every single minute of it.
Mm.
Every minute of it.
Every man of it. And there you go.
So before we jump over into love, lies, and alibis, like I did throw a quick poll question in the group pertaining to this case, and I'm just gonna sound out and let y'all know what a couple of the cousins said. And I mean, literally just a couple. So the question was, if you knew someone attempted to hit on you, I'm sorry, if someone attempted a hit on your life and failed, would you give them another chance to get it right? So pretty much, okay. So Shaitan said this got to be a trick question. Saeed
Right.
said you would never get another chance to get it right. Somebody's family gonna be wearing black, and it's not gonna be my family. No. And then Lauren says, no, another chance to get what right? Taking my life. And I'll do one
Oh,
more.
no. Do the one. Do the one. Hold on. Let me hold on. Do the one. She said, I think she said, yeah, somebody tried to take her life. Where happened? It got
Mm,
I
yeah,
don't
it's
see it.
not
Hold on. Hold on.
there.
Here it go. Here it go. Yeah. I'm about to read it. Yeah. She said, hold on. Dang, where it go? Did she delete it? Maybe she in witness protection. Yeah, because I made a comment like, what? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She made a comment saying that I guess somebody tried to take her life like 3
Okay,
times.
here it is. She said, "Been there, done that, never again." And you said, "Wait, hold up, let me explain." She said, three different people have. Oh, this is Krista Maria. She said, three different people have tried to end my life and failed. By the grace of God, I survived each time. The police basically told me to put up with it and would not help me. Eventually, I was able to move far from the toxicity.
And I said, whatever you got in that cooch, I don't want none of it. You got 3 niggas trying to kill you? Damn.
That was
Anyway,
very ignorant of you.
my bad. All right, well, let's go to our favorite segment called
Love, Lies, and Alibis.
All right, here we go. So let me just clarify. Let me just say something right now. First of all, nigga, I would under no circumstances is going to read this long ass novel that was presented to us. But it is actually a real letter that somebody wrote, and yeah, it's long. So,
So
ooh,
bear
shit,
with us on this one, and just
dude,
like
won't you can't kind of like you can't do like a Cliff Notes version, man, because that shit long as hell. Like,
no, because okay, well, no, because then they're gonna. Oh shoot! Now you made me lose it. Because then they're gonna. Then people aren't gonna understand the question. And she asked a question. This person is at this lady is asking for help, so we have to, give her her time. And so if you
man,
are,
go ahead.
and you are so aggravating. So if you don't mind dealing with Willie's craziness, if you have an anonymous question that you just want to ask the cousins, you can, shoot us an email and we'll keep you anonymous podcast at melaninmysteries.com. So the letter says, Dear Tiffany and Willie, first off, I want to sing your praises. I love your podcast. You really are both amazing, but I don't have to tell you guys that you already know. Tiffany is hardworking and informative, and Willie, you are funny as fuck. You really are my new friends. So here's my situation. I have a friend, I will change his name to Timothy to protect the identity, that served 42 years in prison. 40 of them was on death row. I met his I met this friend through a podcast that I listened to and I was invited to come on. From there, Timothy and I became fast friends. Nothing romantic, by the way. This was just strictly platonic.
It
He is
can't
a
be
very
romantic.
successful.
The nigga in jail, right?
What are
Sorry,
you
go
talking
ahead.
about? Niggas have bitches in jail all the time. They have several of them.
No, nigga,
So what?
them called punks.
No, you know the prison wives and the all of them.
Oh,
They
okay. I'm
they
sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. I
have.
thought you talking about the punks. All right, go
So
ahead. My bad. I'm done.
she said this is strictly platonic. He's a very successful artist, so I was impressed by his independence. He never asked me for any money and always put his own money on the phone when he would call me. Now, most convicts are not like that, and I have heard horror stories, so that's why he was my first real convict friend. We are both writers with published books, so we bonded over writing, and he has a great mind. He was able to provide a lot of insight on the prison system and how the mind of a convict works. Also, he had read all my books and gave advice on how I could make my writing stronger.
Is this
He even
K?
helped edit
Is
that
it?
out. He even helped my daughter with a project she was working on about California prisons and donated to her cheerleading fundraiser. This guy was a very upstanding guy, and I would never trust a convict, but he always had good values and was a man of his word. Fast forward to July 5th, 2025, he was granted parole after they dropped the special circumstances on his case. It really was a miracle. Some mutual friends of his and I were so excited, and I was looking forward to collabing with him on projects on the outside world. I didn't expect to first be I didn't expect to be first on the totem pole of people to be contacting when he got out. In fact, I knew I was the lowest on the totem pole behind his mom, sister, wife, childhood friends, etc. However, the problem is that to this day, I have heard nothing from him. I'm hearing from mutual friends he's settled into his halfway house, and now he's doing a bunch of television shows, radio appearances, and podcasts about his story. Recently, he was featured in Vanity Fair. A lot of our mutual friends are surprised that I haven't heard from him because they all have. One of them even gave me his number, but I am absolutely not going to text him on a number that I got from someone else. I know he's a busy man with getting out of prison and adjusting to life after 42 years. However, it seems like 3 months of him being out is reasonable time for him to contact me by now. What is you guys' opinion? If you're not an important friend in someone's life, what is the length of time they should contact you when they are out of prison? Should I allow more time, or were we really not friends like I thought we were? It's actually starting to be embarrassing because I have hyped him up so much and supported his release and his story to my family. Now my family keeps asking how he's doing and they want to keep following his story. However, now I'm telling white lies and saying he's fine. I just talked to him the other day. LOL. Thanks in advance for your advice and keep up the good work.
Damn.
This is
First
why I
of
don't like
all,
watching those letters all
yeah,
like that.
yeah, you got played, girl. All right, that look, he needed you just to pass the time. Good communication, and as much as you saying that you ain't sending money, nigga, you sent the nigga money. I don't care what you say. You look, nigga, she sent the nigga money. All right, that's clear plus you did. So I mean, unfortunately, if he ain't contacted you, all right, I'm gonna be honest with you. If he got out of jail on a Friday, if he ain't contacted you by Sunday and he talk to everybody else, that nigga ain't want no smoke with you. And then if they hear that it's been 3 months, yeah, nigga, you chalk that up as a loss. Yeah, you need to chalk that relationship as a loss and a life learned lesson. Don't trust these niggas behind bars. All right, on you, Tiffany.
Um, well, I would say speaking from personal experience, like if Amar ever were able to get out and he ghosted me, I would feel some type of way for probably about 2 days. And then after that, I would just chalk it up because I don't really have feelings. And like I'm a Virgo, once we cut you off, it's just dead. So I mean, and I don't, you know me, I don't think I process things like normal people because I don't give a damn about shit. So
Well, damn.
I don't like, me, like my emotional attachment. I just like, oh, okay, well, that was that, and I move on to something else. So like, it doesn't affect me like that. I
The
mean, I wouldn't
stu-
feel some type of
the
way.
student is becoming a teacher.
I know, like I really don't. Like I just be like, oh well, that's that, and I move on. So I mean, yeah, I'm not a good one to ask. I say I don't process things like normal people do.
I
So
mean, but even in this situation, I mean, I mean, look
I say
again.
I would feel some type of way, like because me and Amar,
I
like
ain't writing no letter.
I'm not. I mean, but I feel like if I wasn't high enough on your list to contact me, like I'd be like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't important. Like, well, fuck you too, nigga. Like, and then that
Exactly.
would just be the end of it for me. But unfortunately, like men in prison do use women to pass the time with. I mean, like all they got is time.
No,
But
you're
I
right.
mean,
Yes.
but one thing I'm not gonna be doing is sitting here lying to people. First of all, I'm not lying to anybody
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
saying. What you
I'm
embarrassed about?
grown as
Like,
hell. I'm not lying to anybody about anything. Like if I, because you know my thing about lying, like I feel like shit is fucked up. It's just fucked up. But just go ahead and say, tell the truth, because what are we lying for?
Yes, and she talking
I
about she
just feel
telling
like
white
the nigga
lies to
went.
her family. I know her family probably already looking at her like they know her. They probably like, yeah, all right, nigga. Cap.
You know, I mean, like I say if he went ghost on you, I'd have just been like, you know what? I haven't heard from him. He the nigga went ghost on
Yeah,
me.
that's. I mean, exactly. It ain't nothing to be embarrassed about. Unless you, again, unless you're putting up a facade and telling us something it really ain't, and you really did have feelings, and you was emotionally attached, and y'all had plans to get out and everything like that. Because why would you tell your family? That's just like what's her name? Carmisha. Carmisha. That's her name.
Oh yeah,
Carmisha.
Carmisha did get out today.
Yeah, she
Sis,
got out today,
really?
right? And I've communicated with her about, you know, say getting the thing. She said she definitely. I show you the message. And she said, "Oh, I'm definitely about to give you an interview. If she don't give me an interview, I ain't tell my family about her. I ain't losing sleep. I ain't writing no letter. Why? Because I don't give a shit. I just wanted the interview. That's all. It was strictly a business this relationship, if anything. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so let's see what our the cousins say. ML Poncheo, whatever her name is, said, be done. Straight beer point, straight to the point. Tony Lee said, listen, wish that man well and from afar and live your life. My own cousin did the same. We was tight while he was in prison. He got out, that man a whole stranger. Yeah, because they need you, right? Tommy Dennis said, because I'm nosy, I did some research. And honestly, all you could do is wish him the best and go on with your life. Tommy, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to DM me what you found out, because I was going to do the same thing. If he wanted to reach out to you, he would have. He's had time to sit down and do multiple interviews and talk with your mutual friends, but couldn't even send you a text with his new number. I'm with you. Tommy, make sure I want DM me so I know who this person is. Do you know who the person is?
No, because I didn't, you know, my week has been crazy. So mystical Pamela 1924 said, when I saw this, it was like Willie with his quote, I don't want to read ass and don't read it. I'm psychic, y'all.
They knew I was about to read all that. This is my
Okay,
first time even hearing it right now. Seriously. You know I ain't lying. Go ahead.
I know you not, because you asked me 5 times what it been said. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell it to you. God. So Nini said, I get you may be concerned and would like to hear from him, but it seems you're way too vested on that. 42 years is a long time to serve in prison, so you can't put a time frame on his readjustment on the outside. I think you just need to not let hearing from him be your focus. Get in there and get to writing and get your life, girl. But kudos to you for being a true friend.
Exactly. He probably looking for a whole ass man right now. 40 for some years in jail. Oh yeah, he want man. He want boy coochie.
Retta said, wow, this is heartbreaking. However, your typical prison story. Wish him the best from afar and know that you have done some good in this world and keep it moving. Definitely do not text or call if he didn't give you the number. Then go watch Love during and after lockup.
Exactly. My boy DeWitt said, I'll read this one, then you read one more. Said, trust your feelings, hon. Accept that you were important for that moment when that connection was alive. He said time, and then you said his wife. So it's very possible that's the reason he hasn't reached out. That's true. I mean, yeah. All right, you read one more.
And then YRB said, people come in your life for a reason and seasons. His reason and season is over for you and him. I wish you well and glad it didn't end horribly. Exactly. And that's a very good point, because I think that's why I process things differently, because like my daddy used to always tell me as a kid, like people are coming to your life. He said some people come into your life to bless your life, and some people come into your life to, what do you say, bless your life. Oh, he said some people are a blessing when they come in and some people are a blessing when they leave. And
Oh yeah,
everybody,
that's
people
true.
are, you know, people do come into your life for a reason and a season,
Yeah.
and it might just be that that season is over. So, you know, take what you can get from the situation. You know, if you were able to learn from it, you know, like that's a bonus there. Look at it as, I learned from this situation. I was able to grow from this situation, and like I said, maybe that season of your life is over. And
Exactly. Yeah. So go ahead and move on. Whoever you are, move on, move past. So with that being said, we do appreciate everybody answer. If you would like to leave a comment on one of these answer questions that we have, you could do so by joining our Facebook page, Love Lies and Alibis. You can also join our Melanin Mystery Facebook page. We have a Melanin Mystery IG and also a Melanin Mystery TikTok. Now, let me bring up BTCC. Tiffany, can you please let the people in the back know what BTCC is?
yes, BTCC is the Black True Crime Collective. We are comprised of ourselves, Melanin Mysteries, Melanin Mayhem, and not my brother's keeper. So if you have not grabbed your tickets, because the event is Saturday, like what are you doing with your
Saturday, man,
life?
we about to be in ATL Shorty on Saturday. Do you realize that? Grab your ticket. But before we talk about the ticket, do know that you can also join the Facebook group BTCC on Facebook and BTCC on IG. Just want to throw that out before I forget. Once you join, you got to answer a couple questions, and once you in, we family. Go ahead,
Well, you just cut me off, okay? But
nigga.
yeah,
I
the
literally said I was
ticket
cutting you
links,
off. Go ahead.
the ticket links are in our show notes. As well as make sure you hit up melaninmysteries.com. Over there, you can sign up for ad space. We would love for you to grow your business as we are growing ours. You can also purchase some merch, and also you can leave us a tip if like you like us or whatever, because like that'd be appreciated. Say, and if you ain't got no money, that's cool too. Like just tell your friends to
Or
give us a
no,
tip.
not even that. Or go on Spotify and leave us a good review, or whatever. Not Spotify or Apple, and leave us a good review.
You can leave a Spotify on Apple. You can leave us a review on Amazon Music. You actually have to go through Amazon.com and look us up, and then you can leave a review. And you can leave a review on Spotify, or you can leave a review wherever you're able to. We would greatly appreciate that because it helps the algorithm push us out more. And just a touch back on last week's episode, y'all had me so stressed out because it was like half of y'all like said that y'all loved the episode, and then the other half of y'all said that y'all hated it because of her laugh, and I don't know what to say. Like,
I mean, look, she got
it doesn't reflect that doesn't reflect on us, so I
yes,
appreciate
look,
somebody
she
leaving a
has
bad
a
review for
very
that.
she has a very distinctive layer. But I mean, it would come on, man, y'all. It was a great show. I mean, great show. They did give some good um we had some good convo, and it was the story itself, the case was a good case. So if you can take a listen to it, and we do appreciate it, because they got a lot of our listeners actually said they're gonna start listening to them now, so
Yeah,
that's a good
that's why I
thing.
said it was like that's why like it was like split. Like it was either they loved it or they hated it, and I was just like,
I know, I'm like, damn, man, but that layup though, I'm about to she needs to pattern that bad boy. All right, anything else?
no, that is also. I hope that we will see y'all in ATL on Saturday because we are so excited.
We actually gonna be
But
there Friday, just throwing it out there. So if anybody come in Friday and want a link, hit us up, and maybe we could set something up.
you be making all types of plans,
I
man.
understand, why not? I mean, why not? All right, go ahead.
So just remember that love should not come with a life sentence. So make sure you choose freedom and not felonies.
All right, we out.